The quiet solitude of his dimly lit apartment, shadows whispered secrets of despair. Jake Rodriguez sat hunched over, surrounded by unsold albums staring back at him like reminders of dreams that had slipped through his fingers. The scent of aged wood, mixed with stale coffee, hung in the air, a brewing storm of frustration. Crumpled sheets littered the floor, snippets of incomplete lyrics scattered across the room like the remnants of a once vibrant melody. Jake's fingers brushed over a faded letter, the paper yellowed with time. Words shaped by his mother's delicate handwriting tugged at his heart, filled with encouragement that played like an echo in his mind. "You have a gift, Jake. Don't ever forget that." Each line was a reminder of late nights, spent singing duets in their cozy kitchen, laughter and harmonies mingling as they dreamed of stages and lights. Yet in that moment, staring at the letter, he felt a prick of guilt rising in his chest, a heavy weight that threatened to swallow him whole. He had let her down, and the thought gnawed at him relentlessly. His dreams had become distant specters, elusive stars in an expanding universe he could never touch. All he could muster were half-hearted attempts and a string of failures, stretching into infinity. The open mic night at the local bar loomed like a daunting specter in his mind, a challenge he felt ill-equipped to face. What would it take for him to summon the courage? As he pondered this, self-doubt slithered in, whispering treacherous words that warped his perception. He imagined the crowd's indifferent stares, their laughter echoing in cruel waves, drowning out the notes he so desperately wanted to share. In an act of frustration, he tossed his guitar aside. The instrument landed with a clatter that broke the fragile silence. It felt like a eulogy for a vision he once held close. Pain flickered in his chest, mingling with anger and despair, settling into a profound emptiness that echoed throughout the sterile space. "Maybe I'm just not meant for this," he muttered, staring into space as despondency washed over him. There it was, his old friend, doubt, wrapping its fingers around him, squeezing tighter with each passing moment. The walls felt like they were closing in, bearing witness to his struggle. How long had it been since he felt the elation of a crowd, the rush of sharing his soul through music? The memories flooded his mind, those precious moments spent with his mother, singing in their small Texas kitchen, the way her laughter lit up the room. Even then, they had dreamt of big stages and bright lights, a connection forged by the warmth of shared aspirations. How far away those dreams seemed now. Jake glanced at the calendar hanging crookedly on the wall, the date circled in red ink. The open mic night beckoned, its timing taunting him. Should he venture out? A chance to reclaim that feeling of being alive through song, or would it simply reaffirm his fears? With a heavy sigh, he rose and paced, battling the tempest raging in his heart. Every chord he had strummed, every lyric chewed over in silence, felt like a ghost haunting him, a reminder of all that he had yet to achieve. Yet beneath the surface of his fears, a flicker of longing stirred, a need to connect, to be seen and heard. Jake caught a glimpse of himself in the dusty mirror hanging by the door. His eyes looked lost and weary, yet somewhere in that reflection, a tiny ember glimmered. "What if," he began, though the thought trailed off, swallowed by insecurity. In that dimly lit room, the echoes of the past coalesced with the uncertainty of tomorrow, weaving a tapestry of dreams and doubts. As Jake stared at the crumpled papers and the silent guitar lying on the floor, he couldn't help but wonder, was there still a chance for him to reclaim a piece of the melody that had once defined him? The soft glow of dawn broke through the faded curtains, casting a warm halo over the chaos that surrounded Jake. As he stumbled through the remnants of the night, old photographs caught his eye, a collection of memories etched in time that beckoned him closer. Each image was a portal, taking him back to a simpler era, the time when dreams felt attainable, fueled by hope and endless possibilities. With a sigh, he reached for a dusty album resting on the shelf, its spine cracked and worn. As Jake flipped through the pages, a wave of nostalgia washed over him. There they were, those patched-together snapshots of his childhood. Jake at 6, grinning ear to ear as he strummed a toy guitar, eyes sparkling with the same innocence that music imbued in him. And next to him, his mother, her voice vibrant as she teased out harmonies that filled their small home with warmth and laughter. "Sing it like you mean it, my love," she would say, her eyes twinkling like stars as they stood in the kitchen, pots and pans rattling to the rhythm of their joy. Music had been the heartbeat of their lives, a bond stronger than steel. She had shared her ambition to see him on stage one day. Fame, crowds, and the power of song, all laced with the sincerity of their shared dreams. Slowly, the memories unfolded around him like a blooming flower. Jake remembered weekends spent at the local fairs, where the scent of freshly fried food mingled with the joyous chords of nearby bands. His heart would race as he watched local legends take the stage, a piece of him turning to listen, to longingly wish for the day when he could do the same. One day, he'd tell his mother, voice tinged with youthful determination, "I'll play the big stage where George Strait performs." Her laughter echoed in his mind, a sound that could chase away clouds. "You've got the voice, Jake. And one day you'll be up there singing your heart out," she would encourage, holding him tight as they daydreamed about lush pastures and spotlighted grandeur. But life had a way of shifting hopes, like loose dirt on a path. As Jake continued through the album, images of high school dances, summer nights spent on back porches singing for friends, faded into the shadows of failure. When his father had passed away, the light in their lives dimmed. They had been each other's solace, but as he grew older, the burden of life began to settle heavy upon him. Dreams once so vivid now lay cloaked in dust. "The world is bigger than us," he thought, bitterness creeping into his heart as he stared at the silence surrounding him. The once-filled house now mirrored his desolation, each room a testament to lost ambitions. An ember of doubt, smoldering quietly, overshadowed the fire of aspiration. The open mic night loomed large in his mind. The recollection of hopes turning to ashes made his stomach churn. He had once been so eager, bursting with dreams, visions of grandeur swirling in his head, but now those dreams felt like fragile glass, ready to shatter at a moment's notice. As he stood lost in thought, the music his mother had once loved played softly in his memory, a melody that wrapped around him like a warm embrace. Should he follow through and take the plunge? Would standing in front of others summon back the passion he had nearly forsaken? Jake moved closer to the worn guitar resting by his side, its strings beckoning him. They whispered promises of redemption, urging him to unveil the soul that had been hidden for far too long. He closed his eyes and imagined stepping onto a stage, the lights illuminating a sea of expectant faces. Heart racing, he pictured the sound of cheers filling the air, his mother standing amongst them, pride swelling in her gaze. Would he make her proud? Would she know he hadn't given up? With determination, he picked up the guitar and strummed a few tentative chords. The notes broke the stillness like raindrops on parched earth, filling the room with a sound that felt sacred. He closed his eyes, allowing the music to wash over him, each note a tether to the past, a reminder of the bond they had. For the first time in what felt like an eternity, he began to feel alive. As the chords wove together, he could feel fragments of the song taking shape, reflections of bittersweet memories mingling with yearnings for the future. Each strum resonated within him, stirring the remnants of hope that had once flickered brilliantly amidst the darkness. In that moment, he made a decision. Jake would step into the light, reclaiming a part of himself that had long been dormant. Perhaps the open mic night wasn't just a stage, it was a stepping stone toward unveiling the man he yearned to be. With rekindled spirit, he set the guitar down gently, the weight of responsibility uplifting his heart. It was time to embrace the whispers of his past, to breathe life into a dream that had never truly died. Jake took a breath, glancing once more at the photographs. "One day, I'll make it happen," he whispered, a newfound conviction sparking his resolve. The ghost of his aspirations had nudged him awake. In that dimly lit room, he felt the thrum of possibilities reverberate through his soul, and now he was ready to chase them. Days flowed into nights, and the river of time rushed past Jake, who remained on the banks caught in a whirlpool of contemplation. Though the spark of hope flickered inside him, the shadows of doubt loomed larger with each passing moment. He had resolved to attend the open mic night, yet with every tick of the clock, fear nestled in his chest, making it harder to breathe. The coffee shop's familiar hum surrounded him as he completed another uneventful shift, each cup brewed blurring into the next. Once off work, he drifted to the bar where Mia worked, the cozy haven in their small Texas town. The scent of fried food mingled with laughter, filling the air with a familiar warmth he craved. Mia stood behind the bar, her smile radiant as she mixed a drink. With each swift motion, the tension in Jake's chest eased momentarily. He admired her laughter, an elixir that cast a spell over everyone in the room, drawing attention like the music wafting in from the small stage. "Hey, Jake," she beamed, spotting him. "You excited for tonight?" "Trying to be," he replied, the weight of uncertainty dampening his enthusiasm. Caleb, another local musician, sidled up, his presence commanding attention. "Finally thinking of taking the plunge, huh?" he teased. "You've got to step up, man." Jake's heart raced. He wanted to share his thoughts, but bottled it up, grappling with their implications. "Maybe," he murmured, looking away. "Maybe isn't enough," Caleb said, his tone shifting from teasing to sincere. "Sometimes you just have to leap." Jake swallowed hard, feeling exposed. The words resonated, but the vulnerability felt almost unbearable. Caleb had experienced ups and downs, but had managed to carve out a place for himself in their tight-knit musical community. "People here are welcoming," Mia chimed in, glancing at Caleb with a mix of determination and support. "We all share a passion, that's what matters." Yet as the night wore on, Jake felt increasingly detached. The laughter surrounding him reverberated painfully, the atmosphere thickening around his uncertainty. He observed performers taking the stage, pouring their hearts into their songs, while he remained rooted in his chair, an unseen figure yearning to escape. After a few drinks, he felt the warmth of camaraderie take hold, yet loneliness clawed at him, whispering bitter thoughts. He could not shake the feeling that everyone else belonged there, effortlessly weaving melodies that spoke volumes, while he stood stranded in silence. Mia's gentle voice broke his reverie. "You know, Jake, everyone has their battles. What matters is how you choose to face them." Her hand rested reassuringly on his shoulder. "I don't know if my voice is enough," he confessed, the truth spilling out. "What if they can't connect with me? Then keep trying like George Strait did," she encouraged, her eyes sparkling. "It's about the journey and finding your tribe." Jake glanced around the bar, where shared stories lived behind confident grins and echoes of melodies. For a moment, some of the hard lines around his heart softened, but doubt soon crept back in, a looming shadow casting over his newfound resolve. Despite hearing his friend's encouragement, stepping on stage still felt like facing a storm without an umbrella, and it left him reeling. The idea of exposing himself, it both thrilled and terrified him. As the performances continued, he felt invisible, his yearning to connect drowned out by the voices around him. The vibe grew stronger, yet he felt adrift, the mounting pressure almost unbearable. As Caleb invited another performer up, an ice wave of fear washed over Jake, pulling him under. He sat in the corner, gripping the edge of the table as conflicting emotions swirled. The drink in his hand became the only tether to reality, and frustration bubbled inside him. He could hear the call of music mingling with the laughter of the people who had gathered to support one another. Beneath all of that, Jake felt like a ghost haunting the place, wondering if his dreams were even meant to be realized. At that moment, Caleb called out, "We're looking for someone ready to share tonight. The mic is open. Come on, don't be shy." Jake's heart hammered in his chest, a mix of desperation and ambition clashing. With each passing second, uncertainty stung deeper. Would he step out or succumb to the shadows? He rose, his feet carrying him toward the stage, propelled by a blend of apprehension and courage. The spotlight glared at him, illuminating the uncharted territory ahead. Every eye was fixed on him, every heartbeat a reminder of the stakes involved. With a deep breath, he stood before the microphone, trembling with the weight of possibility. As silence enveloped him, a flicker of comfort emerged. The faint memory of his mother's encouraging smile lingered in the corners of his mind. Gazing across the audience, he recalled her words, reminding him that he wasn't alone. Jake grasped the microphone tightly. "This is for everyone who feels like they're standing on the edge." He spoke softly, his voice wobbly yet unwavering. He began to play, the first chords hesitantly slipping from his fingers like a sunrise breaking through the dark. As the music filled the room, he let go of the fear and embraced the melody, finally hoping that this time he could reach across the gap of isolation and connect something deep within. As Jake's fingers danced over the strings, the hesitant notes blossomed into full-bodied chords, filling the room with a warmth that chased away the chill of doubt. The rhythm enveloped him, breaking the restraints that had bound him in silence for so long. It was as though the music too had been waiting for this moment, alive, breathing, yearning to be shared. He closed his eyes, surrendering to the familiar embrace of the melody. The doubts and fears that swirled in his mind began to dissipate like mist under the sun. The words flowed through him, carrying the weight of unspoken stories and hidden emotions that he had long buried. Each strum resonated with truths he had neglected, and with every note he found a little piece of himself, lost but not forgotten. The audience remained rapt, their smiles encouraging him to delve deeper. He could hear their breaths, their anticipation mingling with the rising crescendo of his song, creating an electric energy that set his spirit alight. He felt a connection forming, an invisible thread weaving him into the collective heartbeat of the crowd. "This is for every dreamer who's ever felt lost just like I have," Jake breathlessly proclaimed, looking at the faces reflecting shared hopes and aspirations. "We're not alone on this journey." His voice grew stronger, infused with newfound determination. As he sang, memories flooded back, his mother dancing around the kitchen, laughter echoing in harmony with the melodies they created together, those shared moments wrapping around him like a soft blanket. Her spirit was with him, pushing him forward, urging him to embrace the vulnerability of the moment. Jake lost himself in the music, pouring his heart into every note, every lyric. The words became a tapestry of pain, hope, and the beauty of starting anew. Lines of his song echoed with themes of loss and renewal, the journey of falling only to rise again, of searching for light in the shadows. He tried to capture the essence of the struggles he'd faced, the fears that had once imprisoned him. As he reached the bridge of the song, he felt taller, lighter, a sense of liberation washing over him. In that space, he was no longer Jake, the lost musician. He was simply a vessel, a conduit transporting emotions, art, and experience to the ears and souls of those in attendance. The applause he had craved sounded in his mind, vibrant and loud. He could hear it rumbling in the background of his performance, encouraging him to dig deeper, to reveal himself fully. The last few chords rang out, echoing against the walls, and as he held the final note, a wave of silence washed over the crowd. It felt eternal, suspended in time, an intimate connection that transcended words. Finally, the room erupted into applause, a storm of cheerful noise enveloping him, shaking loose the remnants of his fears. His heartbeat quickened with exhilaration, the thrill of vulnerability and acceptance coursing through his veins. Jake opened his eyes, feeling the warmth of support wrap around him. Mia stood at the foot of the stage, her face illuminated by a smile that showcased pure pride. Caleb clapped loudly, joining the flood of encouragement that poured forth. "That's how it's done," he shouted, raising a glass in acknowledgement. As the applause echoed in his ears, Jake realized something profound had shifted within him. He had stepped out from the shadows, reclaimed a piece of himself thought lost, and stood vulnerable before those who sought to connect through song. The rebirth was monumental. He was no longer the ghost haunting the corners of the bar. He had found his sense of belonging in the chorus of voices, in the very act of sharing. After stepping down from the stage, a wave of adrenaline surged through him. He felt lighter and completely alive, like he could finally breathe deeply. Mia approached him with open arms, and as he enveloped her in a hug, he could hardly contain the mixture of joy and disbelief that bubbled within him. "Jake, you were incredible!" she exclaimed, her voice trembling with excitement. "You captivated everyone." "I can't believe I actually did it," he replied, laughter escaping as he shook his head in disbelief. "I was so terrified." "Fear is a part of the journey," she said, "but you did it anyway. You poured your heart out, and look at how they responded." As the night wore on, Jake found himself surrounded by familiar faces, each one offering praise and encouragement, a community of souls who understood him. Music was the thread that pulled them together, stitching their experiences into a collective narrative of life's trials and triumphs. Amidst the laughter and the stories shared, one sentiment echoed stronger than the rest. They were not alone. Each had their dreams, their stories, their struggles, and within that unspoken bond lay a powerful sense of connection. Jake felt invigorated, not only by his performance, but through the revelations swirling around and through him. He had stared down his own demons, faced them head-on, and emerged stronger. As the lights dimmed and the crowd began to disperse, Jake and Mia lingered, their conversation weaving effortlessly between laughter and silence. He felt grateful for her presence, her unwavering support lifting him higher than he had ever imagined. "Tonight was the first step, huh?" she said softly, watching the crowd file out. "Definitely," Jake replied, a smile breaking across his face. "I think it was more than that, though. It felt like a rebirth. And there are so many more steps to take, she added, her eyes gleaming with sincerity. The world's waiting for your voice. Jake looked around to where chairs had scattered and beer cups rested on tables. I want to write a song about tonight, about all of this. Mia's expression brightened, the corners of her lips curling in enthusiasm. You should, but remember this, Jake, the songs come from truth. Let them flow and share your story. He nodded, the truth of her words settling into his heart. The music within him had awakened, no longer just an echo of forgotten dreams. It was a new beginning, full of raw potential, heartache, and possibility. As they walked out of the bar, the cool evening air enveloped them. Stars twinkled in the vast Texas sky, vibrant and alive, much like Jake felt now. He breathed deeply, feeling the promise of tomorrow. The journey ahead wouldn't be easy, but he was ready to embrace his music and share his truth. As he stepped into the new chapter of his life, he finally understood. Sometimes you must face the darkness before discovering the warmth of a new dawn. The following weeks washed over Jake like a vibrant melody, each day bringing him closer to the music he had once feared to embrace. After that liberating night, he felt a newfound determination settle deep in his bones. The notes of hope echoed, igniting a spark that urged him on. The bar had become a sanctuary, a tapestry of voices woven together by their shared struggles and triumphs. As he drove through the rolling Texas hills, he felt the sun warm on his face, its glow serving as motivation to write. On the porch of his childhood home, surrounded by the familiar scent of wildflowers and grass, Jake picked up his guitar and let the memories of that night wash over him. The chords flowed freely through his fingers, and as he settled into a rhythm, he closed his eyes, letting creativity spill forth. "I'll write a song about finding light in the darkness," he murmured to himself, recalling the connection he'd felt on stage, the laughter, the camaraderie, and the collective yearning to break free from their own chains. The air was rich with inspiration, each breath drawing in the essence of his surroundings. He remembered how he'd stood vulnerable before the audience, how they had embraced him. The song took shape, verses of struggle and bridges of hope, a chorus celebrating the resilience of the human spirit. "Hey, Jake," a voice called out, pulling him from his reverie. It was Mia, approaching with an excited smile. "What's going on out here?" "Just trying to capture some thoughts," he replied, gesturing to the chaos of lyrics scribbled across scattered pages. "I'm writing a new song." "Really, let's hear it," she encouraged, settling beside him on the weathered porch swing. Jake felt the familiar flutter of anxiety grip his chest, but pushed it aside. "All right, here goes." He started strumming, letting the words pour out as he bared his soul before her. "I used to feel lost in shadows. Each day felt like a fight, but the flicker of a candle is enough to chase away the night." Mia listened intently, nodding as he poured out his heart. When he finished, her eyes sparkled with admiration. "That's incredible. You have a gift for painting emotions in words. Keep going." With Mia's encouragement, Jake could feel the song evolve, each line infused with the whispers of his journey. They sat together for hours, dreaming of the music to come, transforming those dreams into plans. What if they collaborated? They could perform together, turn those quiet moments into something profound. "Imagine a small tour, just us, weaving through Texas," Jake mused, excitement bubbling up, "bringing stories and music to places like this." "I love it," Mia replied enthusiastically. "We can start right here, doing more open mics and gigs. You have to keep getting out there." Days turned into weeks and their collaboration blossomed. They played their songs at local bars, charming audiences with their raw chemistry and harmonies. With every performance, Jake felt his confidence swell, the fears of the past slowly fading into a distant memory. The stage became a symbol of rebirth, a platform to share untold stories and connect with others. Yet, as the rhythm of life carried on, the past was not without its lingering shadows. There were still moments when doubt lurked in the corners of his mind, whispering that he wasn't good enough, that he would fall back into obscurity. Jake would find himself wrestling with the weight of those thoughts, wondering if he could maintain this newfound momentum. One crisp evening, they were invited to perform at a popular local venue, known for launching musicians into the spotlight. Heart pounding, Jake stood backstage, the sounds of laughter and the strumming of guitars warming his soul, but sending chills of anxiety racing down his spine. "We got this," Mia reassured him, squeezing his hand. "We've prepared. Just remember, it's about sharing our story." His breath felt shallow as he nodded. But when they finally stepped into the spotlight, the swell of the crowd instantly captivated him. The moment he planted his feet on that stage, something shifted within him. He gazed into the sea of faces, feeling a current of warmth and anticipation. It was the same feeling that had fueled his first performance. "We have a special song for you tonight," Jake announced, his voice steadying. "This one is about finding your light, no matter how dark it gets. It's a reminder that we're never alone on our journey." As the first chords rang out, the crowd silenced, hanging onto their every word. The song unfolded, tracing the arcs of struggle, hope, and rebirth. He felt the energy lift around them, a palpable exchange of feelings and understanding. By the time they finished, applause erupted, mixing with cheers and hollers that echoed in Jake's heart. The high was intoxicating, invigorating, and he savored the moment. This was the culmination of sacrifice, pain, and faith intertwined. Afterward, still buzzing from the performance, an industry representative approached them, a spark in his eye. "You both have something special, unique voices and a shared narrative. If you're interested, we'd love to talk about recording some songs and potentially getting you a deal." A mixture of excitement and disbelief washed over Jake. He could hardly process the opportunity standing before him. It took everything in him to keep his composure as they discussed possibilities, the conversation flowing seamlessly between laughter and aspiration. Once the night concluded, Jake and Mia stepped outside, the cool air brushing against their flushed faces. "Did that just happen?" Jake asked, grinning widely. "It did. You were amazing. We were amazing," Mia exclaimed, pulling him into a joyful embrace. "This is just the beginning." As they walked home under the blanket of stars, Jake felt a sense of purpose rooted deep within him. Each challenge and every moment of solitude had led him here, to this turning point. They had the potential to craft music that would resonate beyond themselves, reaching cornerstones of hope for others navigating their own struggles. "It's so surreal how far we've come so quickly," Jake said, glancing at Mia under the glow of streetlights. He recalled early hesitations entwined with dreams, realizing that he had chosen to embrace the unpredictable journey. "Yeah, but remember," she added, her tone earnest, "this is just one step. There will be more challenges ahead, but we'll face them together." "Together," Jake echoed, feeling fortified by their partnership. With each footfall, he was reminded of the path ahead, moments yet to unfold, songs yet to be written, fears to conquer, and love to embrace. The future was a tapestry of the unknown, but for the first time he was ready to step boldly into the light, shaping it with his truth and fierce determination. As they made their way through the quiet streets, Jake couldn't help but smile at the promise of what lay ahead. He held onto the hope of a bright horizon, knowing it was now within his reach, anchored firmly by the sound of a guitar, a voice, and a friendship that had changed everything. In the weeks following their big breakthrough, Jake and Mia dove headfirst into their music. The atmosphere crackled with excitement as they rehearsed tirelessly, yet an undercurrent of anxiety bubbled up inside Jake. Every small milestone brought exhilaration, but also intensified his fear of failure. Recording their first demo at the local studio felt exhilarating, but Jake often found himself enveloped in feelings of inadequacy. He wrestled with self-doubt, struggling to articulate the emotions swirling in his heart. There were days when words flew away like leaves in the wind, and melody felt like a distant echo. "Come on, Jake, just sing," Mia encouraged during one of their late-night sessions. They sat amid a jumble of cables and half-empty coffee cups, her guitar resting against the nearby wall. "It's just, what if it doesn't resonate? What if I can't deliver?" he confessed, feeling the weight of uncertainty crushing him. "Don't think like that. You're not alone in this," Mia reassured him. "We started together, and we'll always face our doubts together." Her unwavering support provided a glimmer of light, but Jake still felt pressure pressing down on him. Even in the safe cocoon of their writing sessions, moments of unease gripped him like a vice. One rainy evening, Jake stared blankly at his guitar, fingers poised on the strings yet hesitant to play. The sound of raindrops tapping against the window felt like nature's own heartbeat, echoing the turmoil churning within him. "Maybe I'm just not cut out for this," he mumbled, fighting the urge to give in to fear. Just then, his phone buzzed, interrupting his thoughts. Mia's text brightened the screen. "Hey, let's meet up tomorrow." "I want to write." Her enthusiasm seeped through the screen, reminding him of their shared dreams. As he read her text, he recognized a spark of hope. Maybe they could create something beautiful together, something that resonated beyond themselves. When they met the following day, the two found a quiet corner of a cozy coffee shop, the smell of freshly brewed coffee wrapped around them like a warm embrace. "Let's just create," Mia suggested, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Write from your heart, Jake. Let's not worry about perfection." He nodded, taking a deep breath, allowing the warmth of the coffee shop to soothe his nerves. Picking up his guitar, Jake slowly began to strum. "I want to write about feeling lost," he said, letting the melody form in his mind, about finding light in the darkness. As the notes flowed, they began to weave a story together, one that echoed their struggles, dreams, and desires. Mia harmonized beautifully, her voice intertwining with his, elevating their song beyond mere words. "I may stumble, I may fall, but I'm learning to rise. With every step, I'll recall the light that shines in my eyes." Jake felt the song build and twist, palpable with emotion. As they poured their hearts into the lyrics, the healing power of music enveloped them like a warm blanket. During these sessions, Jake began to realize that vulnerability was not a weakness. It was a powerful connection point. Each note unearthed an authenticity he had long buried under layers of fear. Their music transformed from mere notes into shared experiences, lessons, and a celebration of the human spirit. As their recording progressed, the once overpowering self-doubt felt smaller, almost inconsequential. Jake and Mia's bond grew stronger through each song, and as they played together, he gained a sense of belonging he had never truly felt before. One evening, after an intense practice session, Jake looked over at Mia. "You know, I used to fear failure, but now I see it differently. I feel alive when I write and perform with you." "Exactly. That fear never disappears completely, but we can embrace it. It makes the triumph so much sweeter." With newfound confidence, Jake found himself ready to take on the world. He began to appreciate the creative process, knowing that it wasn't always a straight path, but a winding road filled with lessons. They were making music not for accolades, but for the joy of expression and the connections they formed along the way. As they prepared for the upcoming gigs and recording sessions, Jake recognized that no matter the outcome, he would be fine as long as he stayed true to himself and his art. When challenges arose, he wouldn't shun them. Instead, he would face the storm head-on. As they sat back at their favorite writing spot, an inspiring calm settled over the two. A silent understanding brought them together. Through the struggles and success, they were not just creating music, they were shaping their destinies. The evening air felt charged with potential as they wrapped up another productive session, sharing aspirations and laughter. Each note played and each lyric penned grew into an embodiment of resilience and hope, not only for them but for anyone willing to listen. Jake glanced outside, watching the colors of dusk dance in the sky. They were at the beginning of a remarkable journey, fueled by courage and creativity, reminding him that music was a powerful bridge connecting hearts in every corner of the world. Feeling bolstered by Mia's presence, he took a deep breath, ready to embrace the future. Every struggle was worth enduring when it brought him closer to the music that resonated with his heart. Together, they would navigate whatever lay ahead, creating a beautiful tapestry of sound and emotion that would stretch far beyond themselves. As summer faded into fall, change hung in the air. Jake and Mia embraced the momentum of their growing success, rehearsing and performing with renewed energy. The local music scene buzzed with excitement, and their demo had caught the attention of several small labels. Each new opportunity felt like a door opening to a world of possibilities. On the evening of their biggest concert yet, the venue thrummed with anticipation. Patrons flooded in, buzzing with chatter about the duo that had quickly captured the hearts of their community. Backstage, the nerves were palpable. Jake paced, trying to shake off the creeping doubt that gnawed at him. "Are you ready?" Mia's voice, firm yet encouraging, cut through the tension. He inhaled deeply, forcing a smile. "I just wish I could silence the voice telling me I'll mess up. That voice is part of it. Embrace it. It makes the triumphs even sweeter." With her words hanging in the air, Jake felt a spark ignite within him. He closed his eyes for a moment, envisioning the audience as friends who understood their journey. The thought settled his racing heart. As they took the stage, the crowd erupted in applause, creating a wave of energy that washed over Jake. Their first song hit like a lightning bolt, the rhythm coursing through him. As he sang, he let go of his fear and transformed into a vessel for the music flowing through him. Each note became a shared experience, binding them to the audience. "Here's one that means a lot to us," Mia announced, her eyes bright with enthusiasm. Jake felt it. This was not just a performance. It was an invitation for everyone to join their journey. They began to play, their harmonies intertwining beautifully as they shared stories of hope and resilience. The energy in the room escalated as their final song concluded, and applause thundered around them. It was a celebration of connection, the realization that their music resonated with so many. They stood hand in hand, soaking in the applause and the joy that surrounded them. Backstage, adrenaline surged through Jake's body, electrifying his senses. "I can't believe it. We felt so connected out there," he exclaimed, still breathless from the performance. "You were amazing. We did it." Mia beamed, her enthusiasm infectious. As fans began to approach them, their faces lit with appreciation, Jake's heart swelled. One couple shared that their song was the soundtrack to their love story, while another fan revealed how their music had been a source of comfort through tough times. Each story reinforced Jake's sense of purpose. Their music truly mattered. Later that evening, in the quiet of the empty venue, Jake and Mia reflected on the night. The gentle hum of the fading crowd created a peaceful ambience. "Tonight was a turning point for me," Jake admitted, gratitude spilling from his heart. "I understand now how powerful our music can be." Mia leaned closer, her expression serious yet hopeful. "This is just the beginning. We're not just performers, we're messengers. Let's keep sharing our stories." As he looked around at the quiet stage, Jake felt invigorated. There would be challenges ahead, more moments of self-doubt and tough decisions, but he felt ready to face them, not alone, but with Mia by his side. Stepping outside into the crisp night air, the stars twinkled above, symbolizing the endless possibilities before them. They had only taken the first steps of a remarkable journey, one fueled by creativity, courage, and connection. Each experience would weave together a beautiful tapestry, and each struggle they faced would deepen their artistry. With the promise of new adventures ahead, Jake recognized that every performance, every song, was a chance to connect people and share stories that mattered. "Together, we'll navigate whatever lies ahead," he said, determination rising within him. As they started walking toward their next destination, Jake held onto the sense of hope that filled the air around them. Their music would be a bridge that connected hearts, reminding them of the beauty and vulnerability and the power of shared stories. The road ahead might be uncertain, but they were ready to embrace it all, crafting a symphony of truth and aspiration.